especially thank our instructors. A lot of you probably don't know them, so if you guys want to come up and introduce yourselves.
Sure. Go ahead. Someone start. Go ahead. Rock on, Mitchell.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
My name is Mitchell Heisler. I serve as the Section NE2A Chief. NE2A encompasses Western Massachusetts, Connecticut, and a little bit Eastern Mass. Before my time as Section Chief, I served 2.5 years as Lodge Chief and 1 year as Section Vice Chief. And I'm really excited to spend the weekend here with you guys. So,
Thank you.
Rock on.
Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Braden Stewart. I am the Section NE4A Chief. We are basically northwestern Pennsylvania. That's my area. I'm really thrilled to be here. Before I was Section Chief, I've been a member of my LEC for the last 5 years, including 3 terms as Lodge Chief. And my lodge is pretty similar to this one. So I'm really excited to dig in and get to know you guys.
Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Kyle Piper. I serve as the Section NE3A Chief, our section right here. If you guys are at Conclave, you guys probably saw me. Before serving as Section Chief, I served as Lodge Chief in Shishpeh Lodge for 1.5 years, and before that I served as a Chapter Chief. I'm really looking forward to getting to know some of you guys, get some good training done here, and let's get ready for Conclave.
Ooh.
Yep. That's okay. I get to go first, so you get to listen to me for a little bit. For those who I haven't met, my name is Mark Chilutti. I have the pleasure of serving as your Northeast Region Order of the Arrow Chairman. I come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I am from Unami Lodge 1. So anybody know what that means? What is the significance my lodge plays in the Order of the Arrow? Anybody know? Anybody under 21 know?
Yeah.
Anybody that's not one of these 3 guys that's under 21 now?
Think of the number 1.
So, do you know where the Order of the Arrow was founded?
Treasure Island.
All right. So, Treasure Island is a camp, or was a camp, of the Philadelphia Council, the Boy Scouts. So, in 1915, 2 guys, Ian Goodman and Carol Etzen, had an idea to really form a group of honored campers, honored scouters. Each troop would elect somebody who stood out, kind of no different than it is today, almost 98 years later. So the cool part is I had the chance to be inducted at the birthplace of our order, Treasure Island, so to be a part of Unami Lodge 1. I also, so that you'll know the background that I come from, I sat where all of you guys sat when I was a youth. I was started as a chapter officer and a committee chairman, and was a lodge secretary, a lodge chief, and then a section vice chief and a section chief. So I served in all of those kind of leadership roles as a youth. As an adult, had the opportunity to serve as lodge advisor and hold lots of other positions. And I like to tell people today I have one of the greatest jobs in scouting because I get to work with 12 section chiefs in our region who really are a great group of young men and really do some awesome things. And you're going to get to see some of them in action today. We want to talk a little bit about, in order to know where you want to go, I kind of want to make sure that you have a little basic understanding of where you came from. And when I asked the question about what significance my lodge played in this, and the fact that nobody answered tells me that we're starting from the very beginning. So to do that, I want to show you a brief video. Now I'll tell you when this, before we play it, this video is old. It's 30 years old. But what's important about it is it's one of the last videos that was really done, an interview with the founder of the Order of the Arrow, Dr. Ian Goodman. He died in 1980. This film came out in 1983. But it'll give you a little bit of an idea into what he was thinking way back in 1915 and tell you a little bit about Treasure Island. So Scott, if you'll get the video going, and we'll watch this and then we'll kind of talk a little bit more.
Just dead.
Everybody see okay over there? All right.
Because I just assigned the directorship of Treasure Island, the only camp.
Trying to see if I can get the whole thing on the screen, guys.
The local council in the Lowanne Council.
Doctor's head cut out.
And I knew that it took more than simple furnishments for the camp. I knew it took more than knowledge how to pitch a tent and how to cook in the open, so on. It took something of the spirit, a good spirit. And what do I mean by that? Meaning to a camper. A willingness to take more than your share of the job to be done around the camp for the common good of all that are camping there. And how do you get that?
Hey, look around you, can't you see? Young scouts looking up to you and me. They observe us every day, watching us as we work and play. Meet the challenge, meet the challenge of the order. Meet the challenge, meet the challenge of the order. We are brothers, one by 1 hour. Cheerful work is never done. Meet the challenge, meet the challenge of the order. Meet the challenge of the order.
So walking on the right is Earner Goodman, the founder, and on the left was Carol Etzen, the co-founder.
Camp promotions, Board Scouts, got to get these young men out. Outdoors camping, where they learn. Camp's the place where advancements earn. Meet the challenge, meet the challenge of the order. Meet the challenge, meet the challenge of the order. Cheerful service is our cry. Serve our fellows till the day we die. That's our purpose, our intent. Working hard to meet this end. Meet the challenge, meet the challenge of the order. Meet the challenge, meet the challenge of the order.
Pretty cool, huh?
Remember the words of Mateo as he closed the ordeal ceremony. We who bear the obligation of the Order of the Arrow, now in silent meditation, mindful of our high tradition, ponder that which is our purpose. Pledge ourselves to cheerful service, and with the guidance of our Maker, we with hearts and wills united, pledge ourselves to serve His holy purpose. This our reason and intent, mark with silent reverence.
The future's nearing, search it out, as you promised as a scout. Meet the challenge. Meet the challenge of the order. Meet the challenge. Meet the challenge of the order.
The spirit, as I understand it, is the real self of the individual, helping himself to understand the world he lives in, helping to do what he thinks he ought to do in the future before him. It is a thing that is hard to set forth in so many words, but it is facing life as we understand it, and seeking guidance to do the right thing in that life. And that sometimes takes more than just pride and smartness of thinking, but it requires divine guidance and help to do our best. And that's what I pray for in the years that are ahead for the Arrowmen as they face this future, feeling that God will help them to do that which our country needs and do it with devotion in the brotherhood of cheerful service.
We are brothers, one by 1 hour, cheerful work is never done. Meet the challenge. Meet the challenge of the order. Meet the challenge of the order. La da da da
All right, so think about this, guys, that 98 years ago, these two guys had an idea, and look at what this idea has become. That's pretty cool, huh? If you think about how many things have lasted and endured and stood behind the same principles that they were founded on that many years later. So now let's take it to your local level here. All right, so Lowanne Nimat, what does that mean? Youth only. What does that mean? Anyone? Go ahead. Brothers of the North. All right, so come on up here. I got my first giveaway. And I'm going to let you pick. You can either have a Unami Lodge flap or an old Treasure Island patch. All right, smart man. Good answer. So, Brothers of the North. So your lodge has, I looked up the history and I count how many lodges have been a part to become Lowanne Nimat. But the moral of the story is it doesn't matter how many lodges it took to get to Lowanne Nimat. The principles, the obligations, the things that we all do and say and believe in, the work that we do remains the same. So, you guys have such a unique opportunity, and by being here this weekend, you're really showing a little bit of dedication to the lodge. Your lodge has the opportunity to serve this council in great ways. I know your Supreme Chief of the Fire, who's with us, is excited, I'm sure, to see you all here as well, because the big part of our role as members of the Order of the Arrow, our job is to help our council be successful. We should be involved in everything that the council is doing. So getting back to, thinking about our history, as we go through the weekend, and you're going to go through these different sessions, we talk about in here where we came from. Okay, so 1915 Treasure Island. He's got the patch to prove it now. He can show off all weekend. He's got his Treasure Island patch. That's where we started. Adirondack Lodge, Aola Lodge, Manitowana, did I say that right? Yeah. Onondaga, Nishkanitis, Goshwagona. I'm not even going to try the next one. Cairnacoa, and Lowanne Nimat. So all of those, that brings us up to where we are 2013. Now what's important, everybody in this room, especially the guys who are under 21, you're going to build these next chapters of history. So the things that you're going to learn starting here this weekend is what's going to really help you write the future history for this lodge. It's a pretty big challenge, but also a pretty big opportunity. You know, I can look back at my time as a lodge officer, and I can think about successful things that I did that years later are happening, and maybe even happened a little better, but things that I started when I was an officer. I'm sure these guys can, if I were to put them on the spot and say, you know, what's one thing that you're, in fact I will. You know, Mitchell, you were a lodge chief. What's one thing that after you finished your term you were very proud about? I'm sure there was more than one thing, but just share one thing with me.
Well, one thing that I started when I stepped on as lodge chief is we made an effort to really get our name in the council and help out more. So one thing we did is we created this presentation where we went to district meetings and troop meetings, and we talked about what the OA was and about, you know, what our lodge is and what we do and how we help. And I noticed that, you know, after my term was ended, you know, I had leaders say that their kids knew what the OA was now because they saw that presentation.
Very cool. So that makes you feel pretty good, right? Yeah. Braden, you were what, 3-term lodge chief you mentioned?
Yeah.
So you got to have at least one thing you did that was pretty cool.
I'd say like one of my proudest accomplishments as lodge chief was after I went to Indian Summer actually in 2011. I was really inspired by that to bring a lot of those ideas home to my lodge. We really changed a lot of how we run ordeals to really make them a lot more focused on doing some fellowship after the service, getting people involved and having fun, and that's had a huge effect on retention in my lodge, which is pretty great.
Cool. Kyle?
For me, it was being lodge chief during NOAC 2012. I think the coolest part about that was seeing the younger members, like the 16 to 18-year-olds, the kids that went on that, they are now running the lodge, and to see them grow from that point where at NOAC, they come in as fresh airmen. Some of them were ordeal members at NOAC 2012, and to see that progression and know that you left an impact on those kids and that your leadership is transcended through them. It's just a great feeling knowing that you contributed to someone else's leadership skills.
All right, so you just heard 3 really cool things that these guys are proud about. So how many of you think that you have the opportunity to do something cool and powerful just like they did for your lodge? How many of you here? Well, if it's only 3, yeah, the rest of you might as well leave. Geez.
Let your hands be known.
Yeah, every one of you has the opportunity to do that, and why wouldn't you want to have that chance? These are things that these guys can look back now, and know that. And if you noticed, each thing that they told you was very different than the others. And I think for every one of you, you have that same opportunity. So, one was about administrative stuff. Actually, 2 were, but, Braden's was very different. About his was, changing ceremonies and the things like that. So, again, no matter what piece you want to do, you have to decide and figure out. And we're hoping that throughout this weekend, you're going to figure out the part of the puzzle that you can play. When we get towards tomorrow afternoon, your chief is going to share some of the goals that he has set as lodge chief. And then Mitchell is going to, actually before that, Mitchell is going to lead you in a session about how you can plan goals and come up with goals. And then I will warn you now that tomorrow afternoon, before you leave here, every one of you is going to come up with 1 or 2 goals that you're going to work on for the next year. And those are going to be measurable goals, right, Mitchell? We'll talk about that. So it's not like I want to have more fun or I want our program to be better. That's not going to work. It's got to be a way that you can measure it. So if it's, I want to work on camp promotion, it's got to be something like I want to increase camp promotion visits by 25%. So that we can measure that. And Mitchell will talk to you more about it. But know that that's coming throughout the week at the end of the weekend. So I don't want to surprise you when we get to, we let you all go out and have fun late tomorrow morning and you think, wow, this is really cool. You still are going to be challenged at the end. And to make sure that you really take that serious, we're going to have you report those goals back during the closing session. And you're not going to, we're going to lock the doors and not let you out until all those reports are done. So that's just something I want you to think about. So again, we want you to understand, learn about the little history, in your OA handbooks, which I know you all got. I'm not sure if you ever read them or how much time and effort you put into them. Take a little bit of time, learn about the history of the Order of the Arrow, learn about the history of your lodge, find out what you're good at, what you're known for, what your strengths are, what your pasts are, because you are the future. Every one of you has the opportunity to do it. Out in this room, chances are your next lodge chief, maybe your next 2 or 3 lodge chiefs are in there. Could be your next section chief sitting in there, and one of you could end up to be a region chief or a national chief. It all starts in this room where we're gathered here tonight. That's where it started for me. I'm sure it's where it started for all of these guys. We all had a lot to learn in order to do that. Throughout this weekend, we're going to try and share a little bit of knowledge and expertise that we have with you. So a couple things that we want you to know, and I'm going to speak on behalf of our team, is that we're here to really help you. So all of the sessions that have been prepared, are ones that are trying to help you. But we don't have the luxury of knowing what you know and what you don't know. So if somehow we start talking about things and you are so lost and you are so confused and it's not making any sense to you, please don't sit through it and let us go on and just nod your head and pretend. We'll be happy to stop and explain or break down or answer any questions that you have during any of these sessions. And I want to make sure that you all understand and agree to that. So do we have a deal on that? If there's something that you guys are stuck with, don't be afraid. There's no such thing as a stupid question or a dumb question. If you don't know the answer to it, or if you honestly don't know it, please ask it, because we want to make sure that we're doing our very best to help you to be successful. That's why we came here. It's why these guys made the trip to be here. We have no other goal than to help this lodge be more successful next year. So throughout the different sessions, these guys are going to talk to you about how lodges run. I know tonight we're going to talk about how to build a team and try to get you to know each other and learn about each other, because one of the ways you're going to work together is by knowing a little bit more about each other. Ultimately, one thing that I will promise you absolutely on my honor as a scout is this stuff is fun. I would not be doing it this many years later if I did not love this. I would not, take half a day off from work and get on a plane and fly up here to be with you guys if I did not love what I'm doing. And if I did not feel I got as much out of it when I was your age, then now I want to make sure I give back because somebody helped me get to where I'm at. So again, we've got a good weekend in store for you. It's going to be a lot. We're going to we have another hour or so tonight that we're going to do it, and then we've got a full day tomorrow. But we're going to get going. Going to move on. I'm going to if you need like a minute to stretch your legs or something like that, take it now, and we're going to let Braden get set for his session and get started. So anybody have any questions so far? Yep.
I just got a comment.
Sure.
Just you were talking about the history of the Order of the Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Carol Edson, who wasn't mentioned a whole lot in that video, but he lived here in Syracuse for quite a while. He was the director of the local Social Security office. He was 90 when he died. He was in the old Onondaga Lodge, and he spent time at Camp Woodland.
How about that? How cool is that?
Ooh. But he was local, man. He was, in fact, I took a merit badge from him when I was a boy.
Wow.
One of the citizenship ones. I don't know.
What a
The old gold fountain or something.
what a cool memory to think about that,
In fact, if you go to the museum in Woodland, his name is listed on the plaque for Lodge 516, the old Onondaga Lodge. He's listed as a member.
How about that? Very cool. Very cool. So again, look, whether you love history or don't love history, we've got 98 years worth of coolness that has made this organization really great. And take some time, learn a little bit about it. So take a minute or so. We'll let Braden get all set, and then we'll get started. And I will tell you that I'm going to be watching throughout the weekend, so I've got more goodies to give out. So when I hear some, and I'm only going to give them to youth. So when I hear good answers,
That's not fair.
I might give one to an adult too. We'll see. But when I hear a good answer, or somebody does something or says something really, really cool, you're going to get some prizes. So.